I am going to be talking about the history of Hamlet as a text. I believe that this extra textual context is relevant to an understanding of key themes within the text itself, especially in relation to the idea of remembrance that Greenblatt talks about in Hamlet and Purgatory, as well as how the text deals with this question of writing, ambiguous writing, and also identity. So to start off, I will talk a little bit about Or Hamlet, which is a play by an unknown author. It's dated to the latter half of 1587, so this comes before the writing of Hamlet. Both Thomas Kyd, the author of the Spanish tragedy, and Shakespeare himself have been proposed as authors of this play, but this is obviously unclear. Or Hamlet is known to have had a character named Hamlet and also ghosts that speaks the line Hamlet Revenge, but aside from this, not much is known about the play itself. It is speculated that Or Hamlet may have influenced the text of Hamlet, or that it is actually an early version of Hamlet itself written by Shakespeare, and unfortunately no copy of this play currently exists. Hamlet itself is usually dated as having been written sometime between 1599 and 1601, and there are three surviving early versions of Hamlet, which are the first quarto, or colloquially the bad quarto, published in 1603, the second quarto published in 1604, and the first folio published in 1623. I will be talking about the first quarto a little bit more in detail here. It differs significantly from the other extant versions. It is much shorter. There are also unexplained sort of major plot events and time jumps, plot holes, and significantly Gertrude is portrayed as an accomplice of Hamlet, helping him avenge his father and murder Claudius in the process. Perhaps most notably, the to be or not to be soliloquy in Q1 starts off as, "To be or not to be, aye, there's the point. To die, to sleep, is that all? Aye, all. No, to sleep, to dream, aye, marry, there it goes." This is different from the version of the soliloquy that most modern audiences are familiar with, which starts, "To be or not to be, there's the question, for whether 'tis nobler in the mind to brave the slings and arrows of outrageous fortune," blah, 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 blah. There are obvious quality issues with Q1 that have long been discussed by scholars, but even aside from that, the existence of Q1 proves to be an important piece of evidence that may serve as a bridge between what we understand as the text of Hamlet and the earlier Or Hamlet that it is purportedly descended from or related to. Interestingly, the German play Der bestrafte Brudermord, or Fratricide Punished, that Stephen Greenblatt discusses in Hamlet and Purgatory, contains the character Carambus, which is consistent with Q1, but whose name is changed to Polonius in later versions. Some theories posit that Fratricide Punished is a memorial reconstruction of some version of Hamlet, and also that Q1 itself is a memorial reconstruction of Hamlet. Memorial reconstruction is the hypothesis that some versions or some written scripts or manuscripts of certain plays were actually taken down from memory by minor actors who had bit parts in these plays, and this is how they were circulated. They're usually called bad editions of the play because they differ significantly in quality and also content from the sort of more authoritative versions of the play that modern audiences are used to. So, in regards to the question of memory and reconstruction, memory obviously plays a significant role in Hamlet, and perhaps even more than revenge itself is what sort of drives the action of the play. The ghost's opening "Remember Me" and Hamlet's own "Tell My Story" at the end both read as pleas and commands, and they bookend a play that is fundamentally gripped with a question of remembrance. We see an instance of the failure of memory in Polonius' conversation with Rinaldo, where Polonius forgets his place. He says, "What was I but to say?" And Rinaldo gently nudges him on, prompting at "closes in the consequence." The most ironic part of this scene is the context of Polonius' speech. He is urging Rinaldo to go to France to plant lies, falsehoods about Laertes to figure out the truth about him. This is in sharp contrast to Polonius urging Laertes to thine own self be true in Act 1, Scene 3 before Laertes